Most people spend their entire lives working hard, yet still worry about money. They trade time for income, hoping one day things will finally get easier, but it rarely does. The truth is, freedom doesn't come from working harder, it comes from building smarter. This audiobook will show you how to create assets that pay you not just for a season, but for the rest of your life. You'll learn how to turn your skills, time, and resources into income that keeps flowing even when you're not working. We'll talk about how to save with discipline, invest with purpose, and protect what you build. You'll understand how to make your money grow through systems that work on their own, and how to create wealth that doesn't fade away when you stop working. This isn't about get-rich-quick ideas or financial theories that only work for the few. It's about practical, step-by-step actions anyone can take to gain control of their finances and future. Whether you're starting from scratch or already have experience, this guide will help you think differently about money and success. By the time you finish, you'll see that wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about structure, planning, and mindset. It's about creating something that keeps working for you, so you can spend your time doing what truly matters. Stay with me, because in this journey, you'll discover how to build assets that pay you forever and how to create a life where money serves you, not the other way around. Chapter 1. Build multiple streams of passive income that compound over time. Building multiple streams of passive income that compound over time is one of the most powerful decisions a person can make in their life. It is not simply about earning more money, it is about creating stability, freedom, and choice. It is about designing a life where your time works for you, not against you. Most people spend their entire lives working for income that disappears the moment they stop showing up. The wise understand that true wealth is built when your money, skills, and systems begin to earn on their own. The purpose of this chapter is to help you step into that mindset and turn it into daily practice, because lasting wealth does not happen by accident. It is built deliberately through discipline, awareness, and intelligent action. The first shift begins in your thinking. You cannot build multiple streams of passive income if your mind is trapped in the idea of earning through effort alone. Many people grow up believing that the only way to earn more is to work harder, to give more hours, to push themselves endlessly. But that mindset keeps you chained to time. There is a limit to how much time you can trade for money, but there is no limit to how much your assets can earn for you. Every truly wealthy person understands that money is a servant, not a master. You must train it to work for you, even when you rest. That begins when you start seeing every dollar you earn as a seed that can grow into something greater. Start by defining what passive income means for you. It is not no work. It is front-loaded work that creates ongoing results. It means building something once that continues to deliver value and returns repeatedly. It may come from real estate, investments, online platforms, businesses, intellectual property, or royalties. The form is less important than the principle. You create, systemize, and let it grow without constant involvement. The best passive income streams do not demand your daily presence, they reward your past discipline. And the earlier you begin, the more time you give your assets to compound. The compounding effect is one of the greatest forces in wealth creation. It works quietly and invisibly at first. The early stages of building assets can feel slow, even frustrating. You might spend months or years building a system or investing small amounts without seeing big results. But compounding rewards those who persist. Each new source of income adds a layer of security and stability. As time passes, your earnings begin to grow faster than your effort, and eventually, your wealth accelerates beyond what you could have achieved by work alone. The key is consistency, staying committed long enough for the small gains to become unstoppable growth. You begin this journey by looking at where you are now. Write down your current sources of income. Then identify how dependent each one is on your active time. Most people find that 90% or more of their income stops if they stop working. That realization can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. It exposes the risk you face if you ever lose your job, your health, or your ability to work full-time. The goal from this moment forward is to reduce that dependency. Even if you start with a single additional stream of income, you are shifting the balance toward freedom. Each new stream, no matter how small, is another step toward independence. The most practical place to start is with something you already understand. Passive income should not begin with complexity or high risk. It should begin with familiarity. If you know how to write, create something that earns royalties. If you understand real estate, explore rental properties or land investments. If you have a deep knowledge of a subject, turn it into an online course or book that can sell for years. If you work in a profession, find a way to automate part of it or create a tool that others can use. What matters most is not the type of income, it is your ability to sustain and grow it. Simplicity and consistency always outperform complexity and inconsistency. At the same time, be aware that not all passive income is equal. Some streams require more upfront investment or management, while others can scale with little effort. For example, investing in dividend-paying stocks requires capital, while building an online course requires time. Owning rental property can be profitable, but may involve maintenance and tenants. The ideal approach is diversification, having different types of income that balance each other's strengths and weaknesses. One stream may provide stability, another growth, and another creativity. The combination creates resilience, ensuring that no single event or downturn can destroy your financial foundation. The foundation of all this is financial discipline. Without control over your spending and saving habits, even the best opportunities will slip away. You must learn to manage your cash flow with precision. Every surplus dollar is potential fuel for your next income stream. Many people waste years waiting for a big breakthrough, when in truth, they could have started building with what they already have. Start small, save consistently, and reinvest wisely. The earlier you adopt this discipline, the faster compounding begins to work in your favor. It is not about earning more, it is about keeping and multiplying what you earn. The emotional side of wealth creation is equally important. Passive income is not only a financial goal, it is a test of patience, trust, and consistency. It demands that you delay gratification and think long-term. Many abandon their efforts when results take too long, but the wise understand that building enduring assets requires time. When you are creating something that will pay you for decades, a few years of effort is not a sacrifice, it is an investment. You must learn to stay calm when progress feels invisible, to keep building when no one notices, and to trust that every small effort contributes to something greater. Wealth grows quietly before it grows visibly. Once you establish your first passive income stream, the second becomes easier. You learn patterns, processes, and habits that make each new creation faster and smoother. You begin to understand what works, what scales, and what needs to be adjusted. The goal is to create momentum to move from one stream to the next while maintaining stability. For example, you might begin with a small investment portfolio, then add an online product, then real estate, then a business that runs without you. Over time, your portfolio becomes a living ecosystem of income sources that support each other. This is how true wealth is built, not through luck or one-time success, but through continuous creation. The next critical mindset is seeing yourself as a builder, not a consumer. Consumers spend, builders create. Every decision you make either adds to your assets or your liabilities. When you buy something, ask whether it brings you closer to freedom or farther from it. Does it generate income or drain it? Wealthy people do not avoid spending, they spend differently. They allocate resources toward things that multiply value: education, tools, systems, investments, relationships. They delay pleasures that fade and invest in those that last. Each decision compounds, just like money does. The accumulation of wise choices builds a foundation that will sustain you even through uncertain times. Building multiple income streams also requires developing systems. Without systems, even good ideas collapse under chaos. Automation, delegation, and structure allow your assets to function without your constant attention. If you sell digital products, automate delivery. If you rent properties, hire reliable management. If you run an online business, create templates and processes. The less your income depends on you, the more freedom you gain to focus on new opportunities. Every hour saved becomes an hour reinvested into higher value creation. Wealth builders think in systems, not tasks. They build machines that work for them. There will be moments when progress slows. You may encounter setbacks, bad investments, failed ideas, unexpected losses. These moments are not the end. They are feedback. Every builder of wealth has faced them. The difference between those who quit and those who succeed is mindset. A setback is not a signal to stop. It is a chance to refine your approach. The greatest advantage you have is resilience, the ability to continue, learn, and adapt. When you adopt this attitude, every experience adds value, even failure. You become stronger, wiser, and better equipped to create the next income stream. Another essential factor is knowledge. The economy changes, technology evolves, and new opportunities emerge constantly. Continuous learning keeps you relevant and competitive. Read about finance, entrepreneurship, real estate, digital innovation. Listen to those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Study how they think, how they make decisions, how they manage risk. The world rewards those who learn faster than others. Every new insight can save you years of mistakes. You cannot build lasting wealth on outdated knowledge. You must stay informed, flexible, and open-minded. It is also important to surround yourself with people who share similar goals. Building passive income is easier when you are part of an environment that values growth, responsibility, and independence. If your circle constantly complains, spends recklessly, or doubts your vision, progress becomes harder. Seek out mentors, peers, and communities that challenge you to think bigger and act smarter. Success is rarely built alone. You rise faster when you learn from others who have already built what you are trying to create. Collaboration multiplies wisdom and opportunity. As your income streams grow, your responsibility grows with them. Wealth brings freedom, but it also brings stewardship. You must manage what you have with integrity and intelligence. That means paying attention to taxes, protecting your assets legally, and planning for the future. Passive income is not just about having more, it is about sustaining what you have built. The decisions you make today affect the generations that come after you. When your income begins to pay you forever, your duty is to ensure it can continue without harm, waste, or negligence. One of the most rewarding aspects of passive income is the freedom it gives you to live intentionally. When your financial base is secure, you can choose how to spend your time, whom to help, and what to build next. You no longer live in constant survival mode. You gain the mental space to think, create, and contribute. Many people think money changes people. It simply reveals them. When you are no longer forced to work for every bill, your true priorities emerge. You might choose to travel, teach, build, or give back. The purpose of passive income is not to escape work. It is to give you the freedom to do meaningful work. Building multiple streams of income that compound over time is not a one-time project. It is a lifelong discipline. Each stream requires planning, creation, and maintenance. But over time, the effort decreases while the rewards increase. The compounding effect applies not only to money but also to your knowledge, relationships, and confidence. Each success strengthens your belief that you can build again. Each lesson makes the next project smoother. Over the years, you begin to realize that wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is a state of self-reliance, peace, and purpose. The path may be long, but it is worth every step. You will notice a shift in how you think, how you act, and how you see the world. You will stop reacting to money and start directing it. You will stop waiting for opportunities and begin creating them. You will stop living from paycheck to paycheck and start living from asset to asset. Every day you spend building these streams, you are moving closer to freedom, not just financial freedom, but mental and emotional freedom. The compounding of income is really the compounding of discipline. It rewards those who show up, who plan carefully, who stay patient, and who think beyond the next month. If you stay committed to this path, your future will look very different from your present. You will wake up one day to realize that your income flows, whether you work or rest, and your choices are guided by vision, not fear. That is the moment when your life truly changes, when your assets begin to pay you forever, and your time becomes yours again. The decision to build multiple streams of passive income is a declaration of independence. It says you refuse to live at the mercy of circumstances. It means you are taking control of your financial destiny. The steps are simple but profound. Earn actively, save wisely, invest intelligently, automate systems, and reinvest continuously. Over time, these habits will compound into freedom. The goal is not luxury, it is peace. The goal is not excess, it is security. And the path begins today, with one choice, one habit, one investment at a time. The earlier you begin, the sooner your future begins to work for you. Wealth is not built overnight, it is built daily through consistent effort and the quiet power of compounding. If you stay disciplined, your assets will one day do the work for you, and you will live a life that pays you forever. Chapter 2. Create high-value digital products that sell without limits. Creating high-value digital products that sell without limits is one of the most powerful ways to build true financial freedom in today's world. The internet has changed everything about how we create, share, and earn. It no longer matters where you live, how old you are, or how much money you start with. What matters is what you can offer that solves a problem, teaches a skill, or brings value to people's lives. Digital products are modern assets. They don't get old, they don't require storage, and they can be sold an unlimited number of times with almost no additional cost. Once created, they work for you continuously, reaching people all over the world while you focus on creating new value. The first step to creating a high-value digital product is to identify a real problem people face. Every great product begins with service. People don't buy products, they buy solutions. If your product helps them save time, gain knowledge, or improve their lives, it will always have value. To find that idea, pay attention to questions people ask often, struggles you've overcome, or skills you've mastered through experience. The best digital products are born from real human understanding. When you create from experience, your work carries authenticity and power that cannot be copied easily. Once you have your idea, focus on clarity and usefulness. A common mistake is trying to make a product that looks impressive but lacks depth. High value means depth, precision, and transformation. A good digital product doesn't just give information, it gives results. If it's a course, guide, or toolkit, it should take someone from where they are to where they want to be, step by step. Your role as the creator is to make that journey as simple and effective as possible. That's what builds trust, reputation, and sales that continue long after the first launch. The next essential principle is to create once and distribute forever. A digital product, unlike a physical one, can be duplicated infinitely at no cost. That means your main investment is time, creativity, and skill. You work hard once, but your creation keeps earning repeatedly. That's why it's important to take your time in the creation stage. Don't rush. Build quality that lasts. The goal is not to make a quick sale, it's to build a digital asset that pays you consistently. Every word, design, or feature should serve a clear purpose. People remember quality long after they forget price. When your product genuinely improves their lives, they become your best promoters. Building a digital product also teaches discipline. It requires focus and consistency because the process often feels invisible at first. You all might spend weeks recording, writing, or designing before anyone sees what you're building. But this stage is where your future income is born. The quiet work behind the scenes, the long nights refining details, improving lessons, fixing errors, is what separates ordinary creators from those who build assets that endure. The value of your digital product is a direct reflection of the care and thought you put into it. Once your product is ready, presentation becomes the bridge between your creation and the world. Even the best ideas can fail if people don't understand what makes them valuable. You must communicate clearly what problem your product solves and why it's worth their attention. Use honest, simple language that connects emotionally. Don't focus on features, focus on outcomes. Tell your audience how their life improves after using what you created. This kind of communication isn't manipulation, it's alignment. It ensures your product finds the people who truly need it. The next step is automation. A digital product should be built on systems that sell and deliver it without your constant effort. That means setting up automatic payment systems, email responses, and delivery platforms. This is how you turn your creation into a self-sustaining asset. Once the systems are in place, your focus shifts from maintenance to growth. You can spend more time improving the product, creating new ones, or expanding your audience. Automation is what transforms a product into passive income. Marketing plays an essential role in this process, but not in the traditional pushy sense. True marketing is about connection and trust. Share your journey, your insights, and your story. People connect with people, not faceless brands. When they feel your sincerity, they're more likely to invest in what you offer. Use storytelling, testimonials, and real experiences to show how your product changes lives. Be patient. Building a reputation takes time, but once people see consistent value, your audience will grow naturally. Trust, once earned, multiplies everything. The beauty of digital products is that they allow you to scale without boundaries. A physical store has limits. A service-based business depends on your time. But a digital product can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. The same course you sell to one person can be sold to 10,000. The same ebook that helps a few readers today can reach millions tomorrow. That scalability is what gives digital assets their unique power. They grow exponentially, not linearly. And that growth doesn't demand more effort, just better systems and consistent value delivery. When creating, focus on ownership. Don't rely entirely on platforms that can change their rules or take a large portion of your income. Build an independent structure, a website, an email list, a direct connection with your audience. Platforms are tools, not foundations. The more ownership you have, the safer and more predictable your income becomes. Control over your product means control over your destiny. It ensures your work continues to pay you regardless of external changes. Another principle of success in digital product creation is feedback. The best creators listen more than they assume. After your first launch, pay attention to what your customers say. Learn from their experiences and refine your product. Improvement is not a sign of weakness, it's a mark of mastery. Every update makes your product more valuable and your reputation stronger. Over time, these refinements turn your work into something truly timeless. A digital product that keeps evolving, stays alive, relevant, and profitable. Pricing is another critical aspect of creating high-value products. Many creators undervalue their work out of fear. But pricing should reflect value, not insecurity. If your product saves someone time, teaches a skill, or helps them earn more, it has real worth. People respect what they invest in. Low prices attract hesitation. Fair prices attract commitment. The right pricing also gives you resources to keep improving, offering even more value. Remember, customers don't want the cheapest, they want the best solution. Deliver excellence, and price becomes secondary. Consistency across everything you create matters deeply. From your visuals to your tone of voice, every detail should express professionalism and care. People trust consistency because it signals reliability. When your audience knows what to expect, they feel safe investing in you. Build that trust over time through honesty, transparency, and service. Never chase quick profits at the cost of integrity. Your digital product should represent the highest standard of your work ethic and values. To create a product that sells without limits, you must think long-term. Many people focus only on the launch, but real success comes after it. Nurture your audience, share updates, provide bonuses, and continue to educate. The more you invest in your relationship with your customers, the more they invest back in you. Repeat customers and word-of-mouth referrals are the strongest engines of growth. When people feel genuinely cared for, they return and they bring others with them. The most powerful digital products are not those that look the most polished, but those that truly make a difference. Focus on real transformation. Whether you teach a language, help people manage time, or show them how to start a business, aim to change lives. When your work improves someone's life, it spreads naturally. That is how your product sells without limits, not because of aggressive advertising, but because people believe in what you built. Over time, you'll realize that digital product creation is not just a way to make money, it's a path of personal growth. You'll learn patience, communication, strategy, and resilience. You'll discover how to manage time, handle criticism, and keep improving. The process shapes you into a disciplined, self-reliant person who creates value from nothing. That transformation is more valuable than the money itself, because it gives you skills that can build wealth again and again. Creating high-value digital products is a form of independence. It's the ability to control your own economy, serve people globally, and earn in a way that reflects your effort and creativity. It's one of the rare opportunities in life where what you know can become something that earns for you endlessly. But it requires focus, honesty, and consistency. You must build with purpose, deliver with integrity, and always prioritize value over profit. When you commit to this path, you stop chasing opportunities, you start creating them. You no longer depend on luck or circumstance. You design your own flow of income, guided by knowledge and service. Each digital product you build adds to your foundation, creating stability and freedom. One product becomes two become 5, and before long, your digital library begins to pay you for years to come. The effort you put in today becomes the reward you live on tomorrow. That is the true power of high-value digital products. They break the limits of time and space. They allow you to multiply your impact without multiplying your effort. They give you control over your future and the freedom to live on your own terms. Build wisely, build patiently, and build with care. When your work carries real value, it will continue to serve others and pay you long after the work is done. Chapter 3. Master disciplined saving habits that fuel smart investment choices. Mastering disciplined saving habits is one of the most important foundations for financial growth. It is not about restriction or deprivation. It is about control, awareness, and intelligent preparation for future opportunity. Many people think wealth begins with earning, but it truly begins with saving. You can earn a high income and still will remain financially unstable if you lack discipline. Saving is not an event. It is a daily practice of self-respect and long-term thinking. It is the decision to value tomorrow as much as you value today. Without disciplined saving, investment becomes impossible, and without investment, freedom remains out of reach. The first truth about saving is that it is not about the amount but about the habit. Even small, consistent savings can grow into significant assets over time when done with commitment. The act of saving trains your mind to think strategically, to plan ahead, and to separate needs from desires. It strengthens patience and foresight, two qualities essential for building wealth. When you save regularly, you develop self-trust. You prove to yourself that you can manage your resources wisely, and that self-trust becomes the foundation for every future financial decision. A disciplined saver does not save what is left after spending, they spend what is left after saving. This simple shift changes everything. It transforms saving from a wish into a priority. The problem many people face is not income, but inconsistency. They save only when convenient, which rarely happens. True discipline means saving first, no matter the circumstance. It is not always comfortable, but it builds stability that comfort alone can never provide. Each time you save before spending, you reinforce control over your financial direction instead of letting lifestyle or emotion dictate it. To master saving, you must understand your patterns. Track your spending for a month. Write down every expense without judgment. Awareness is the first step to improvement. When you see clearly where your money goes, you gain power over it. Many are surprised to discover how much is lost to unplanned purchases, small daily habits, or emotional spending. Once you identify these leaks, you can make intentional adjustments without feeling restricted. Saving then becomes a choice rooted in clarity, not guilt. Creating a personal saving system simplifies the process. Automate a portion of your income to transfer directly into a savings or investment account. This removes the need for willpower, which can fluctuate. Automation makes discipline effortless. When saving happens automatically, you stop seeing it as a burden and start seeing it as a natural part of your financial rhythm. You begin to adapt your lifestyle to what remains instead of constantly negotiating with your goals. Over time, this structure becomes a quiet form of strength. Saving is not just about storing money, it is about directing it. Money that sits idle loses value over time, but money that is purposefully saved for investment becomes powerful. This is where disciplined saving connects with smart investing. The purpose of saving is not to hoard, but to prepare. Every dollar saved should have an intention, whether it is for a future business, property, education, or stocks. The habit of saving creates the pool of resources that fuels opportunity when it appears. When others hesitate because they lack funds, the disciplined saver moves forward with confidence. It is important to remove emotion from saving. Many people save for a while and then spend impulsively because they feel deprived. This pattern destroys progress. Discipline means staying focused even when the temptation to spend is strong. It helps to define your why. Ask yourself what financial freedom means to you. Is it peace of mind, travel, security for your family, or independence from stress? When you connect saving to a clear purpose, it becomes meaningful rather than restrictive. Purpose gives patience. Each act of saving becomes a quiet vote for the life you truly want. A key part of disciplined saving is avoiding unnecessary debt. Debt drains future potential and limits your ability to invest. While some debts can be strategic, most stem from impulse or lifestyle inflation. Learn to separate what is essential from and what is merely desirable. Each time you resist unnecessary spending, you preserve the power to invest later. That resistance is not denial, it is strategy. The more you control your obligations, the more freedom you create to direct money toward growth instead of repayment. Many people underestimate how emotional saving can be. It challenges your habits, beliefs, and even your self-image. If you grew up without financial stability, saving may feel unnatural, but that discomfort is temporary. Every act of saving rewires your relationship with money. You begin to see money as a tool, not a source of stress. Over time, saving transforms from something you have to do into something you take pride in. It represents maturity, stability, and control qualities that compound as much as interest does. Discipline also means knowing how much is enough. Saving endlessly without purpose can lead to anxiety or greed. The goal is balance, saving enough to feel secure while also living meaningfully. This balance keeps your mind peaceful and your motivation strong. Discipline is not rigidity, it is structure guided by wisdom. It gives you the strength to say no to what does not serve your vision, and yes to what truly matters. To strengthen your discipline, create visual reminders of your goals. It could be a chart of your savings progress, a photo representing your dream home, or a note reminding you of your why. Visual anchors turn abstract goals into something you can feel. They remind you that every small contribution counts. Progress may be slow at first, but consistency always wins over speed. The person who saves steadily, without drama, will always surpass the one who saves aggressively for a short time and then stops. Smart investment begins where disciplined saving ends. When you have accumulated enough to invest, the goal shifts from preservation to growth. Saving alone cannot make you wealthy because inflation silently erodes the value of stagnant money. The real power lies in directing those savings into assets that appreciate, generate income, or multiply through compounding. But smart investing requires preparation, research, and patience. It is not gambling, it is strategic decision-making based on knowledge. Disciplined savers make better investors because they are patient by nature. They don't chase quick profits or panic during downturns. They understand that wealth grows quietly through time and consistency. Their financial habits protect them from emotional mistakes. When markets fluctuate, they stay calm because their foundation is built on preparation, not luck. They don't need to take desperate risks to recover losses because their discipline already reduced risk from the start. Before investing, build an emergency fund that covers several months of living expenses. This is your shield against unexpected events. It prevents you from pulling money out of investments during hard times. This fund is not for spending, it's for peace of mind. It gives you the confidence to make long-term investments without fear. Once that foundation is secure, you can invest freely and strategically, knowing your daily life is protected. Smart investment also means understanding risk and reward. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Choose investments that align with your goals, timeline, and risk tolerance. Learn before you commit. Read, ask questions, and seek advice from credible sources. The disciplined saver never rushes, they analyze and act with intention. Their goal is not excitement but consistency. Over time, these steady decisions lead to strong financial growth without unnecessary stress. Another strength of disciplined savers is that they never stop learning. They understand that the financial world changes constantly, and staying informed is essential. They study trends, adapt strategies, and remain curious. This mindset keeps their investments relevant and profitable. Saving teaches you humility, the understanding that improvement never ends. Each year brings new lessons, and those lessons protect and multiply your wealth. In the end, disciplined saving is not just about money. It is about character. It teaches patience, responsibility, and self-mastery. It strengthens the part of you that can delay gratification, think clearly, and act wisely. These traits extend beyond finances. They influence every part of life. The same discipline that builds wealth also builds peace, health, and purpose. It gives you the ability to stay grounded in a world driven by impulse. When saving becomes second nature, your future begins to feel lighter. You wake up knowing you are prepared, capable, and in control. You no longer react to money, you direct it. You move from survival to stability, from anxiety to confidence. And when opportunities arise, you are ready to act because your preparation has already done the heavy lifting. Mastering disciplined saving habits is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It transforms uncertainty into clarity and chaos into order. It fuels your ability to invest wisely, to seize opportunities, and to build assets that pay you for life. Each dollar saved with purpose is a step toward independence. It is a quiet declaration that you will no longer live at the mercy of chance. With patience, consistency, and wisdom, disciplined saving becomes the steady pulse of lasting wealth and unshakable peace. Chapter 4. Transform your skills into scalable assets that earn continuously. Every person possesses a unique set of skills shaped by years of experience, learning, and trial. Yet most people underestimate their value. They trade their time for income, never realizing that the same skills they use daily could become assets that earn continuously. Transforming your skills into scalable assets is about recognizing your own potential as a creator of value rather than just a worker. It is about moving from dependence to independence, from effort-based income to result-based wealth. The moment you begin seeing your skills as tools for building something lasting, your entire relationship with work and income changes. The first step in this transformation is awareness. Take an honest look at what you already know. Every skill, whether it's communication, problem-solving, teaching, organizing, designing, or managing, holds potential. Many people assume they need to learn something entirely new to build wealth, but often the greatest opportunities come from what they already do well. The challenge is not lack of skill, but lack of vision. The key question to ask yourself is, how can this skill help others at scale? The answer to that question opens the door to transformation. Scalable assets are creations that can be reproduced, sold, or shared without depending on your constant presence. They allow you to earn repeatedly from work you did once. When you teach a skill through an online course, publish a book, build a software tool, or design a system that others use, you are turning your expertise into something that multiplies without additional effort. This process requires clarity, structure, and patience. It means extracting your knowledge, organizing it into a format that others can understand, and delivering it in a way that continues to produce value. Before you create anything, understand your audience deeply. The most successful, scalable assets solve specific problems for specific people. Think about who benefits from your knowledge, what struggles they face, and how your skill can improve their situation. The more precisely you define this, the more valuable your asset becomes. People pay for clarity, not complexity. They are drawn to solutions that save time, reduce frustration, or open opportunity. When you know who you serve and what you solve, your skill becomes a tool for impact. Once you've identified your direction, structure your knowledge into a clear process. A scalable asset must be organized so others can replicate your results without your direct involvement. This means simplifying what you know, breaking it into steps, and creating systems that others can follow. For example, if you're skilled in marketing, you could design a framework that small businesses can use. If you're an expert in fitness, you can develop a repeatable program that helps people reach results without needing one-on-one sessions. The goal is independence. Your asset should deliver value, even when you are not there. Turning your skill into a scalable asset also requires a shift from performer to builder. When you perform, your income depends on your time. When you build, your income depends on the system you create. This is why creators, educators, and innovators thrive even after stepping away from daily labor. They design processes that continue to work for them. It is not about doing more, it is about creating smarter. The difference between a job and an asset is the ability to earn without repetition. Every time you repeat a skill manually, ask how you can systemize or automate it. Technology is the great enabler of scalability. The internet gives you tools that once belonged only to large companies. You can record, design, publish, and distribute from your home. You can reach thousands or millions of people across the world without traveling or spending heavily. When used wisely, technology becomes the bridge between your knowledge and a global audience. Learn to use digital platforms not for entertainment, but for empowerment. Every tool from websites to automation software exists to multiply your effort. The more efficiently you use them, the faster your skills become assets. A crucial part of creating scalable value is quality. You cannot build something that lasts with mediocrity. Take the time to polish your work until it truly represents your best. Excellence separates temporary income from continuous earnings. When people experience your product or service and feel genuine benefit, they return and recommend it to others. Word of mouth and trust are forms of compound growth that money alone cannot buy. The effort you put into quality at the beginning multiplies tenfold over time. To make your asset grow continuously, you must also develop systems for renewal. The world changes, technology evolves, and needs shift. What works today may need refinement tomorrow. Treat your asset as a living project. Update, improve, and expand it regularly. This keeps it relevant and valuable. A static creation fades, a dynamic one endures. Continuous improvement not only sustains income, but also deepens your reputation as someone who delivers ongoing value. Scalability also depends on mindset. Many people hold themselves back with self-doubt, thinking their skills are too ordinary or that others already know more. But skill is not about comparison, it's about contribution. What seems basic to you might be life-changing to someone else. The goal is not to impress experts, but to serve learners. Every expert started by teaching beginners. Your experience holds more worth than you realize, especially when combined with sincerity and clarity. Confidence grows when you focus less on perfection and more on usefulness. Building a scalable asset also teaches you to detach from instant results. It often takes time before your work begins to produce steady income. The early stages may feel slow because you're investing effort up front, but the reward comes in the form of freedom later. Each step you take, structuring your knowledge, recording content, refining systems, is an investment in your future stability. Discipline bridges the gap between effort and reward. The people who succeed in this path are those who keep building even when progress is invisible. You must also learn the art of leverage. Leverage means using tools, people, and systems to multiply your output. For instance, you can partner with others who complement your skill set, collaborate on projects, or delegate tasks that don't require your unique touch. Leverage turns individual effort into collective strength. It allows you to grow faster without exhaustion. A scalable asset is never built through isolation. It's built through intelligent collaboration and strategic use of resources. One of the most overlooked aspects of building assets from skills is protection. As your creations gain value, you must secure them legally and financially. Protect your intellectual property, your brand, and your digital rights. Set clear terms for how your work can be used or distributed. This ensures that your effort continues to reward you long after it leaves your hands. Protecting your assets is not paranoia, it is responsibility. It preserves the fruits of your discipline and ensures that your value benefits you, not those who exploit it. You must also reinvest in your skill development. The more you learn, the more valuable your assets become. Continuous learning fuels innovation. Stay curious, study emerging trends, and update your abilities. Growth never ends, and every new insight you gain expands your ability to serve others. The moment you stop learning, your assets stop growing. The moment you expand your knowledge, new opportunities emerge. Lifelong learning is the ultimate compounding tool. Over time, your assets will begin to generate consistent income, and this is where momentum builds. One product, one system, or one program may start small, but each success adds to your foundation. Soon you will have a network of assets that reinforce one another, a book that leads to a course that leads to consulting, a consulting system that leads to digital tools. Each part supports the next, creating an ecosystem of value that works continuously. The greatest advantage of transforming skills into scalable assets is freedom. You free yourself from the limitations of time, location, and dependency. You earn from your creativity and discipline, not just your labor. You gain control over your schedule, your energy, and your future. It doesn't happen overnight, but each step you take brings you closer to independence. In the end, the transformation of skills into assets is more than a financial goal. It is a process of becoming self-reliant, confident, and purposeful. It teaches you to think long-term, to create with intention, and to build with integrity. When your skills begin to earn continuously, you realize that wealth is not just money, it's the ability to turn knowledge into value, value into freedom, and freedom into lasting peace. The same hands that once worked for survival can now build for legacy. The same mind that once worried about income can now create it. And from that moment on, your work no longer ends when you stop working, it continues, quietly paying you for the wisdom you had the courage to share with the world. Chapter 5. Secure legal and financial structures that protect your growing wealth. As wealth begins to grow, protection becomes more important than expansion. Many people spend years working hard to build their assets, but give little thought to how they will secure them. True wealth is not only about what you earn, it is about what you keep and preserve. Without the right legal and financial structures, even the most successful financial journey can collapse under risk, taxes, poor planning, or sudden life changes. Protecting wealth is not a task for the rich. It is a principle for anyone who intends to stay financially independent for life. Building wealth requires ambition, but keeping it requires wisdom, foresight, and discipline. The first understanding you must develop is that wealth protection is not fear, it is preparation. It is the act of anticipating what could go wrong and designing systems that prevent loss. It means thinking ahead instead of reacting later. Many people avoid this subject because it seems complicated or boring, yet the consequences of neglecting it can be devastating. Every dollar you lose unnecessarily is a dollar you could have multiplied. Securing your wealth is the invisible foundation that keeps your financial house standing through all conditions. The process begins with structure. As your income grows from multiple streams, you must organize how that money flows, where it is held, and under what legal identity it operates. Relying solely on personal accounts exposes you to risk. The first step towards security is separation. Your personal life must be distinct from your business or investment entities. Creating legal structures such as limited liability companies, trusts, or holding corporations ensures that your assets are shielded from personal liabilities, lawsuits, or unexpected claims. These structures are not just for corporations, they exist to protect individuals who think ahead. Once your structure is in place, your next responsibility is documentation. Every agreement, transaction, and partnership should be supported by clear, written contracts. Too many people rely on trust alone, and while trust is valuable, documentation protects all parties from misunderstanding. A written agreement does not mean distrust, it means professionalism. It ensures fairness, accountability, and transparency. Proper documentation can prevent years of legal conflict and financial stress. It's not enough to do business with integrity, you must also protect that integrity with paperwork. Another layer of protection lies in diversification. Never allow all your wealth to be concentrated in one account, one investment, or one jurisdiction. A balanced approach spreads risk across different categories: real estate, stocks, digital assets, and cash reserves. Within each, ensure you have protection, such as insurance, legal ownership structures, and access controls. Diversification is not only about growth, it is a defense strategy. It ensures that one unexpected event cannot erase years of effort. You must also understand taxation deeply. Taxes are one of the most significant forces that can reduce your wealth if unmanaged. The goal is not to avoid taxes illegally, but to minimize them intelligently. A well-structured financial plan takes advantage of legal deductions, credits, and tax-advantaged accounts. This is where professional guidance becomes crucial. A qualified accountant or tax strategist can design a plan that aligns with your goals, ensuring your money works efficiently without unnecessary loss. Paying less tax legally is not greed, it's good stewardship. The more resources you retain, the more you can reinvest, build, and contribute. Financial protection also means preparing for the unexpected. Life is unpredictable. Illness, disability, or sudden changes can interrupt even the strongest income streams. Insurance may not seem exciting, but it is one of the most powerful safety nets you can have. Health insurance, life insurance, property insurance, and business coverage are essential forms of protection. They exist to keep your financial progress intact when life throws challenges your way. The disciplined builder plans not for perfection but for possibility. When you insure wisely, you are not expecting disaster, you are ensuring peace of mind. A strong financial foundation also includes an emergency fund, separate from your investments. This fund serves as a personal buffer for unexpected expenses or temporary setbacks. It keeps you from liquidating assets prematurely or taking on unnecessary debt during difficult times. It is the quiet reserve that allows you to continue growing even when conditions change. Wealth is not just the presence of assets, it is the absence of panic. When you know you are prepared, you make better decisions. Legal protection must also extend to inheritance and succession. Too many people work a lifetime to build wealth, only for it to vanish through poor estate planning. A will or trust ensures that your assets pass smoothly to the people or causes you care about. Without one, your estate can become trapped in legal disputes, taxes, or confusion. Planning your legacy is not a morbid task, it is an act of love and responsibility. It guarantees that your work continues to serve purpose even after you are gone. The same discipline that built your wealth should be applied to how it will be preserved for the next generation. Beyond documents and plans, financial security requires awareness. Regularly review your accounts, update passwords, and use secure digital storage for important records. Cybersecurity is now a part of wealth protection. Identity theft, scams, and digital fraud are modern risks that can wipe out progress if ignored. Protecting your digital assets is just as important as protecting physical property. Use two-factor authentication, encrypted backups, and professional security tools. Being cautious is not paranoia, it is wisdom in a digital age. You must also think carefully about the people who have access to your finances. Transparency should exist only with trusted advisors, partners, or family members who understand your vision and values. Too many wealth losses occur from misplaced trust or mismanagement. Surround yourself with people who respect boundaries and operate with integrity. A single careless decision by someone with access can undo years of work. Choose wisely who you allow to manage, advise, or even view your financial information. Another essential part of wealth protection is record keeping. Maintain a clear, organized system for receipts, contracts, and financial statements. This discipline prevents confusion, helps during audits, and provides clarity during decision-making. It also strengthens your confidence as a builder of wealth. Knowing exactly where everything stands gives you power over your financial direction. Uncertainty weakens decision-making. Clarity strengthens it. Organization is a form of defense. It prevents chaos from becoming your enemy. As your wealth grows, humility becomes a form of protection too. Arrogance attracts risk. Many people lose everything when they start believing they are invincible. They take unnecessary risks, ignore professional advice, and stop reviewing their structures. Wealth requires vigilance. The same focus that built it must be used to protect it. The goal is not to be afraid, but to stay aware. Stability comes from consistency, not assumption. Review your financial systems yearly and adjust as needed. Life changes, and your plan must evolve with it. It is also wise to seek expert counsel. Even if you are knowledgeable, professionals in law, finance, and tax planning can identify gaps you might overlook. Their perspective can save you from costly mistakes. Surrounding yourself with trustworthy experts does not make you dependent, it makes you strategic. You still make the decisions, but with the benefit of informed insight. True independence is not doing everything alone, it is making intelligent use of the right support. Protecting your wealth is also an emotional discipline. It requires patience and self-control. When you begin to accumulate money, you will face temptation to overspend, impress, or indulge. Emotional decisions are one of the greatest threats to wealth. The wise protect not just their accounts but their mindset. They know that greed, fear, and ego are internal thieves. Guard your focus. Protect your perspective. The stronger your inner discipline, the stronger your outer structures. Eventually, protecting your wealth becomes a habit. It stops feeling like an effort and starts feeling like common sense. You begin to make decisions based on long-term stability instead of short-term pleasure. You begin to appreciate quiet safety more than visible luxury. That is the mark of maturity, when security becomes more valuable than display. Real wealth is calm, private, and protected. It does not need attention, it needs structure. When your legal and financial systems are well designed, you experience a different kind of freedom. You stop worrying about losing what you've built and can focus entirely on creating more. You no longer make decisions out of fear but out of clarity. You have protection from risk, order in your finances, and confidence in your future. You know that no single event can erase your progress. That peace of mind is one of the highest forms of wealth. Securing your wealth is not the end of the journey, it is the foundation for everything that follows. It ensures that your years of effort continue to serve you and those you care about. Every structure you build, every document, account, or plan is a reflection of your discipline and vision. You are not just protecting money, you are protecting freedom, stability, and the life you've worked for. True wealth is not measured only by how much you earn, but by how wisely you safeguard it. When you have built something worth keeping, protect it with the same energy you used to create it, and it will continue to grow safely for the rest of your life. Chapter 6. Multiply returns by reinvesting profits into diverse growth opportunities. Multiplying returns by reinvesting profits into diverse growth opportunities is the step that separates temporary earners from long-term wealth builders. Earning money is only the first part of the process. What you do with those earnings determines how far your financial journey will go. The difference between those who grow wealthy and those who stay stagnant lies in the way they use their profits. While many spend what they earn, the disciplined reinvestor uses every profit as fuel for the next stage of growth. Reinvestment transforms money from something that is spent into something that multiplies. It's the process of turning today's rewards into tomorrow's security and freedom. Every profit you earn is a seed. If you consume all of it, your progress ends there. But when you plant that profit wisely, it grows into something much larger than its original size. Reinvestment is the practice of taking the fruits of your labor and giving them new purpose. It's not about denying yourself enjoyment, but about understanding timing. Spend later, grow now. When you reinvest your profits instead of letting them sit idle or vanish through expenses, you give your wealth a chance to work harder than you ever could. Your money begins to carry its own weight. To start reinvesting effectively, you must first develop clarity about your financial direction. You need to know what kind of growth you want and what level of risk you're willing to accept. Not every opportunity is suitable for every stage of life. In your early stages, you might focus on high-growth ventures that build momentum quickly. As your foundation strengthens, your reinvestments should prioritize stability and long-term compounding. The goal is not reckless expansion, but strategic diversification that allows every part of your portfolio to serve a distinct purpose. Diversification is the key to sustained growth. Putting all your profits into one venture creates vulnerability. Markets shift, industries change, and trends fade. Smart investors understand that spreading wealth across multiple types of assets creates balance. One investment may fluctuate, but another will stabilize your portfolio. This harmony keeps your financial journey moving forward even when conditions aren't ideal. Diversity doesn't just protect you, it allows different forms of growth to occur simultaneously. Real estate might appreciate slowly but steadily, while business ventures or digital products could deliver faster returns. The combination of both creates financial resilience. When deciding where to reinvest, start with what you know. You don't need to chase complex or unfamiliar opportunities. Often, your best investments are extensions of what you already understand. If you've built a digital business, reinvest in improving its systems, marketing, or reach. If you have real estate, consider expanding into new markets or upgrading existing properties. If you hold investments in the stock market, explore dividend reinvestment plans or growth-focused funds. The principle remains the same. Use profits to strengthen your earning engine, not to start from scratch each time. One of the greatest mental barriers people face in reinvesting is fear of losing what they've earned. It's natural to feel protective of your profits, especially after working hard to achieve them. But hoarding money leads to stagnation. Idle cash loses value to inflation, while reinvested money has the potential to grow exponentially. The disciplined builder understands that security does not come from holding on, it comes from intelligent circulation. When money moves purposefully, it creates opportunity. The goal is not to spend recklessly, but to make every dollar work with intention. Before reinvesting, always evaluate potential opportunities with logic, not emotion. Study the fundamentals, research the risks, and understand the possible outcomes. Every investment involves uncertainty, but informed decisions greatly reduce unnecessary losses. Use both intuition and data. Trust your experience, but verify with evidence. The best investors don't chase hype, they seek value. They look for ventures that have solid structures, sustainable models, and clear potential for growth. Learning how to analyze an opportunity objectively is one of the most valuable financial skills you can ever develop. Reinvesting also requires patience. The compounding effect doesn't happen instantly. It builds quietly in the background, gathering strength over time. Each reinvested profit adds another layer of potential, another opportunity for exponential growth. but that growth needs time to mature. Impatience destroys compounding because it forces premature withdrawal or unnecessary risk-taking. The disciplined investor thinks in decades, not months. They understand that wealth behaves like nature. It grows gradually but powerfully when left undisturbed and nourished consistently. A smart reinvestor also creates systems for regular review. Growth is not automatic. It requires awareness. Set intervals to evaluate how your reinvestments are performing. Some assets will outperform expectations, while others may underdeliver. Rebalance when necessary, but avoid constant tinkering. Too many changes disrupt momentum. The goal is steady improvement, not endless adjustment. Over time, you'll develop a deep understanding of how your investments interact, how different markets behave, and how to allocate profits more effectively. The most powerful reinvestments are not only financial, they are personal. Reinvest some of your profits into learning, skill development, and innovation. The more you improve your thinking, the better your decisions become. The most successful wealth builders continuously educate themselves about economics, technology, and market trends. They stay curious and adaptable. Each new insight sharpens their judgment, allowing them to identify opportunities others overlook. Personal growth compounds faster than any financial return because it enhances your ability to create and sustain wealth for life. It's also important to reinvest into relationships. Connections built on trust, shared values, and collaboration often lead to the most profitable ventures. Money flows through people. A strong network can introduce you to opportunities, partnerships, and insights that no amount of research alone can provide. Reinvesting time and energy into nurturing relationships with mentors, investors, or other creators multiplies possibilities in ways you cannot predict. Wealth grows fastest in communities that support each other's success. Another principle of reinvestment is maintaining balance between risk and safety. Allocate part of your profits towards secure, stable investments, while dedicating a smaller portion to higher risk, higher reward ventures. This ensures that your overall growth remains sustainable, even if some experiments fail. Failure is part of the process. Not every reinvestment will succeed, but every experience will teach you something that improves your future decisions. The disciplined reinvestor never fears loss. They study it, learn from it, and refine their strategy. Reinvesting profits is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing cycle. Earn, reinvest, expand, and repeat. Each round of reinvestment creates a new level of opportunity. Over time, you build a self-sustaining ecosystem of assets that feed into one another. Your real estate profits can fund business ventures, your business profits can fuel investments, and your investments can finance innovation. This continuous loop turns your financial life into a living system where growth feeds growth. The compounding effect eventually becomes unstoppable. One of the greatest satisfactions of this process is witnessing your money begin to generate more money. It's a quiet but powerful feeling to see your earlier discipline paying off. It reinforces your belief in long-term strategy and strengthens your confidence as a builder of wealth. At this stage, you realize that success isn't about luck or timing, it's about consistent, intelligent reinvestment. Wealth becomes predictable because it follows the structure you've created. The real power of reinvestment lies in mindset. It transforms how you view profit. Instead of seeing profit as something to celebrate and spend, you see it as raw material for further creation. You begin to think like an architect, not a consumer. You stop chasing temporary highs and start building permanent systems. Every reinvestment decision becomes an act of vision, choosing future potential over present comfort. That mindset creates a ripple effect that changes how you approach every area of life. As you reinvest across diverse opportunities, you will develop intuition for timing. Knowing when to expand, when to hold, and when to shift direction is an art that comes with experience. The best investors are not those who take the biggest risks, but those who make the most precise decisions. They understand that growth is cyclical and that patience between cycles is as important as action during them. The more disciplined your approach, the steadier your progress. Eventually, reinvestment becomes more than a financial practice. It becomes a way of thinking. You start to apply the principle of reinvesting, not just with money, but with time, knowledge, and energy. You learn to reinvest your focus into meaningful work, your wisdom into mentoring others, and your success into creating opportunities for those who follow. Wealth then evolves from something personal into something that has a wider purpose. You become not only a receiver of value but a multiplier of it. Multiplying returns through reinvestment is the art of disciplined growth. It rewards patience, intelligence, and consistency. It's how ordinary profits become extraordinary wealth, how effort transforms into freedom, and how financial success becomes sustainable through time. Each reinvested dollar, each thoughtful decision, and each moment of restraint builds momentum toward a life of independence and abundance. When your profits start producing new profits, you experience the quiet power of financial mastery, the point where your money no longer depends on your labor, but your vision. That is when wealth truly begins to grow forever. Chapter 7. Automate systems and workflows to deliver earnings with less effort. Automating systems and workflows to deliver earnings with less effort is one of the smartest and most liberating steps in wealth creation. It's about moving from constant activity to strategic efficiency. Most people believe success comes from working harder, but in truth, lasting success comes from designing systems that work without constant supervision. When you build automation into your income streams, you're no longer limited by time or energy. You create an environment where processes handle repetition, allowing you to focus on growth, creativity, and improvement instead of maintenance. Automation is not laziness, it's leverage. It's the art of multiplying results without multiplying effort. The purpose of automation is to create flow. Imagine every part of your business or income system running seamlessly: sales, delivery, customer communication, tracking, and payments, all functioning automatically. Each process supports the next without you needing to be there every moment. The outcome is freedom. Automation gives you control over time, and time is the most valuable currency you have. It allows you to direct your attention toward higher-level decisions and long-term strategy instead of daily operations that drain focus and energy. The first step toward automation is awareness. You need to identify the areas in your work or a business that consume the most time but produce predictable, repeatable results. These are the best candidates for automation. Start by observing your daily workflow. Notice the tasks that repeat: sending invoices, responding to emails, managing transactions, or tracking orders. Every repeated activity represents an opportunity for automation. The more consistent the task, the more it can be systemized. Once you identify repetitive processes, you need to document them. Write down each step in clear, simple order. Documentation creates clarity. It helps you see where you can simplify or combine steps. Without understanding your workflow, automation becomes guesswork. When you see your process visually, inefficiencies become obvious. You might realize that certain steps can be removed entirely, or that one system can handle multiple actions at once. Clarity precedes automation. After defining the process, select the right tools. There are countless software solutions and platforms designed to handle different types of workflows. Payment gateways can handle transactions automatically. Scheduling apps can organize meetings without communication back and forth. Email systems can respond instantly with personalized messages. Online platforms can distribute digital products or manage subscriptions without your involvement. Choosing the right tools depends on your specific needs. but the guiding principle remains the same: reduce manual effort wherever possible. Automation should always serve your goals, not complicate them. Some people overload their operations with unnecessary systems, turning automation into confusion. The goal is simplicity, not technical complexity. Every tool you implement should remove friction and save time. Test each system thoroughly before scaling. Make sure it integrates smoothly with your other tools and that it performs consistently without constant adjustment. Good automation feels invisible. It just works quietly in the background, delivering results while you move on to other things. Delegation is another powerful form of automation. Technology is one part, but people are another. When you train others to handle specific tasks with clear guidelines, you create human systems that function with minimal supervision. A reliable assistant, a virtual support team, or a manager can act as part of your automation strategy. Delegation allows you to preserve your focus for creative and strategic thinking. The goal is to create a structure where every responsibility has a place, a process, and a person or system assigned to it. Automation also protects you from burnout. Many ambitious people exhaust themselves trying to maintain control over every detail. They confuse busyness with productivity. But true productivity is measured not by how much you do, but by how much continues to function without your direct effort. Automation forces you to let go of control and trust the systems you've built. It teaches you to move from being the operator to being the architect of your own success. That mental shift from working inside your system to working on your system is what separates the self-employed from the truly free. As your automation systems begin to function, you'll notice something important. Consistency improves. Machines and systems don't forget. They don't get tired or distracted. They perform the same way every time. This consistency builds reliability, and reliability builds trust with your clients or audience. Customers appreciate speed, accuracy, and dependability. Automation allows you to deliver that effortlessly. Each satisfied client adds to your credibility, and that credibility attracts more business without additional effort. Automation also increases scalability. When your systems run efficiently, you can handle 10 times more volume without 10 times more work. A well-designed automated structure allows your income to grow exponentially while your workload grows minimally. This is how real financial freedom is achieved, not by working more hours, but by designing processes that work for you. Your role shifts from being the worker to being the overseer of multiple engines that run in harmony. It's important to remember that automation doesn't eliminate human touch, it enhances it. You can automate repetitive technical processes while still keeping your communication personal and authentic. For example, you can automate emails, but include genuine stories and messages that connect emotionally. You can automate product delivery, but still add personal notes or support channels for your customers. Automation is not about removing connection. It's about removing friction. It gives you space to focus on what matters most: relationships, creativity, and innovation. To maintain success, review your systems regularly. What works today may not work next year. Technology evolves, markets shift, and customer expectations change. Schedule time to evaluate your tools, workflows, and team efficiency. Keep refining your automation strategy as your business or income streams expand. The key to long-term growth is adaptability. An outdated system that once worked can become a bottleneck if left unattended. Improvement must become a continuous habit. One of the most overlooked benefits of automation is data. Automated systems record valuable information: sales numbers, user behavior, performance metrics, and response rates. These insights reveal patterns that guide smarter decisions. Data shows what's working and what's not. It helps you allocate time, money, and effort where they produce the greatest return. The more data you analyze, the sharper your financial instincts become. With good data, you no longer guess, you act with precision. Automation also empowers creativity. When your routine tasks are handled automatically, you gain mental space to think strategically and create new ideas. Innovation thrives when your mind is free from repetitive stress. You begin to see opportunities for improvement that were invisible when you were busy managing every detail. This clarity allows you to expand into new projects, build additional income streams, or simply enjoy more time doing things that fulfill you personally. There's a deep psychological freedom that comes from knowing your income doesn't depend entirely on your daily effort. It changes how you wake up, how you plan your day, and how you think about the future. Your confidence grows because you have built a system that supports you. You are no longer chasing opportunity, you are managing it. Each day your systems operate without you. Your trust in them strengthens, and so does your peace of mind. Automation should always align with your long-term purpose. It's not about doing less work just to escape effort, it's about directing your effort toward what truly matters. When you automate intelligently, you are not removing yourself from your good work. You are elevating your role. You move from doing tasks to designing outcomes. You build a structure that creates results efficiently, reliably, and sustainably. That's not only financial progress, it's personal evolution. Over time, you'll notice that automation doesn't just save time, it multiplies it. The hours you free today compound into days, weeks, and eventually years of regained life. You begin to live with intention instead of reaction. You can explore new skills, travel, mentor others, or simply enjoy the peace of knowing your systems are generating value consistently. That is the essence of financial independence. Your income continues while your energy focuses on living fully. In the end, automation is the quiet power behind every lasting success story. It's what turns small operations into empires and single individuals into organizations. It's the force that lets you expand your reach without exhausting yourself. When you design systems that deliver earnings with less effort, you unlock one of the greatest truths of wealth creation, that freedom is not about doing nothing. It's about designing a life where everything important continues to move forward, even when you pause. Automation gives you that life. It's the bridge between hard work and smart work, between survival and mastery, between effort and effortless growth. Chapter 8. Reinvest time and money into learning that increases asset potential. Reinvesting time and money into learning that increases asset potential is one of the most intelligent decisions any person can make. It's the habit that separates those who plateau from those who continue to expand their influence, income, and stability. The truth is, the world is constantly evolving. Markets shift, technologies advance, and new opportunities appear faster than ever before. What worked a few years ago might not work today, and what works today could be obsolete tomorrow. The only way to stay ahead is to keep learning. The person who keeps learning keeps earning. Knowledge is not just information, it is leverage. It turns uncertainty into advantage and transforms potential into performance. When you invest time in learning, you are upgrading your ability to make better decisions. Every decision you make, whether in business, investment, or life, comes from what you know. The more accurate, current, and practical your knowledge, the more effective your actions become. A well-informed mind recognizes patterns and avoids mistakes that cost others years of progress. Learning sharpens perception, allowing you to identify opportunities before they become obvious to everyone else. When you commit to continuous education, you create a lifelong edge. The smartest investors don't only reinvest money, they reinvest awareness. They spend resources on books, courses, mentors, and environments that expand their perspective. They know that every piece of useful knowledge compounds over time. A single insight learned today could save them thousands of dollars or open a new income stream tomorrow. Education, when directed with purpose, has the highest return on investment imaginable. You can lose money and earn it back, but once knowledge becomes part of you, no one can take it away. Time is just as valuable as money in the learning process. The way you allocate your hours determines how fast your assets grow. Many people waste time on distractions that bring temporary comfort but no long-term reward. Reinvesting time means deliberately scheduling learning into your daily routine. It means reading financial reports instead of aimless news, listening to lectures instead of gossip, practicing skills instead of scrolling. Each focused hour compounds. Every day you choose growth over distraction, you strengthen the foundation of your future wealth. The most effective learners treat knowledge like capital. They plan where to invest it. They choose subjects that align directly with their goals: finance, psychology, business strategy, communication, leadership, or technology. They don't chase random information, they build mastery around their vision. It's not about learning everything, it's about learning what matters most to your success. Each lesson should bring you closer to improving your assets, expanding your reach, or refining your systems. Learning without direction becomes noise. Learning with purpose becomes power. To increase the potential of your assets, you must understand the industries and trends that influence them. If you invest in real estate, study market cycles, zoning laws, and renovation strategies. If you build digital assets, learn about search optimization, automation, and user behavior. If you invest in stocks, study economic indicators and business models. The more you understand your field, the more confident and precise your decisions become. Ignorance creates dependency, while knowledge creates independence. Every expert was once a beginner who kept studying after others stopped. Money invested in learning is never wasted when used wisely. Attending seminars, joining masterminds, or hiring mentors can accelerate growth dramatically. The right mentor can compress years of trial and error into months of focused action. They've already walked the path you're trying to take. Their experience can save you from costly mistakes and guide you toward proven methods. However, mentorship only works when combined with humility. You must be willing to listen, to apply what you learn, and to admit what you don't know. Growth begins where ego ends. The habit of learning also strengthens discipline. It trains your mind to stay curious, alert, and adaptable. It keeps you from becoming stagnant or complacent. Many people reach a certain level of success and stop learning, believing they've arrived, but that's when decline begins. The moment you stop upgrading your knowledge, you start falling behind those who continue to evolve. The most successful individuals treat learning not as a phase but as a lifelong practice. They never believe they know enough. They believe there's always something more to master. Reinvesting time and money into education doesn't mean chasing endless courses or collecting certificates. True learning is practical. It's about implementation. Knowledge becomes valuable only when applied. Each time you learn something new, ask how it can strengthen your current assets or create new ones. Knowledge that sits unused is no better than ignorance. The goal is to turn learning into action, and action into measurable improvement. When your education translates into higher efficiency, smarter investments, or better systems, it becomes a living asset. One of the greatest advantages of continuous learning is adaptability. The economy can shift overnight. Industries can rise or fall within years. But when your mind is trained to learn quickly, you can adjust without panic. You can redirect your skills, pivot your strategy, and continue growing even in uncertain times. Learning builds mental flexibility, and flexibility ensures survival. While others are caught unprepared, the learner finds new ways forward. This mindset is what keeps individuals wealthy, even when circumstances change drastically. The digital era has made access to knowledge easier than ever. You can learn from global experts, study advanced topics, and develop new skills without leaving your home. The problem is not access, it's discipline. You must separate learning that builds value from content that only entertains. Not all information deserves your attention. Choose quality over quantity. Spend time on subjects that improve your decision-making, productivity, and creative thinking. The internet can be your greatest university if you use it consciously. When you commit to learning, you also begin to see connections others miss. Ideas from one field can inspire innovation in another. For example, lessons in psychology can enhance marketing. Insights from technology can improve business efficiency. The more diverse your learning, the more creative your problem-solving becomes. Innovation often arises when unrelated ideas intersect in your mind. That's why you should never limit your education to one area. Broad learning strengthens adaptability, while focused learning sharpens precision. Together, they create mastery. Reinvesting time and money into learning also increases confidence. Uncertainty often comes from ignorance. When you don't understand something, it feels risky. But when you know what you're doing, you act decisively. Knowledge removes hesitation. It allows you to move faster and smarter than others. Confidence built on learning is not arrogance, it's stability. You no longer guess, you calculate. You no longer fear the unknown, you prepare for it. Each time you learn something new and apply it successfully, your confidence compounds just like your wealth. A commitment to learning is also a form of protection. It guards you against manipulation and poor advice. When you're informed, you can recognize when something doesn't make sense. You can evaluate opportunities clearly and reject those that don't align with your principles. Financial literacy, legal understanding, and awareness of systems make you resilient against deceit. Education is not just a path to profit, it's a shield against loss. The more you know, the less likely you are to be taken advantage of. Investing in learning also shapes your mindset toward growth instead of fear. The more knowledge you acquire, the more you see possibilities instead of problems. You stop viewing challenges as threats and start seeing them as opportunities to apply what you've learned. Learning turns obstacles into lessons. It gives meaning to setbacks and teaches you how to convert them into future strength. That mindset is what keeps people moving forward when others give up. As your assets grow, so should your wisdom. Each stage of success requires a higher level of understanding. Managing small income streams is different from managing large portfolios. Leading a small team is different from leading an organization. Continuous education ensures you're always prepared for the next level. It keeps your thinking sharp enough to handle greater complexity. Every new skill and every new insight equips you for expansion. Eventually, learning itself becomes a habit of self-renewal. It keeps your mind youthful, your perspective fresh, and your creativity alive. It reminds you that progress never stops. You realize that true wealth isn't measured only by money, it's measured by how much you grow as a person. Money can disappear, knowledge stays, skills can adapt, wisdom endures. Reinvesting time and money into learning is the ultimate form of asset growth. It expands every part of your life, your earning potential, your confidence, your adaptability, and your peace of mind. It ensures that your wealth continues to evolve with you. The more you learn, the more value you create. And when you commit to never stopping that process, you reach a point where every lesson adds another layer of freedom. That is the compounding power of knowledge. It multiplies silently, strengthening every asset you own and every decision you make. Learning is the one investment that never declines in value, and those who keep learning will always stay ahead of those who stop. Chapter 9. Protect assets with smart insurance, estate and contingency planning. Protecting assets with smart insurance, estate and contingency planning is one of the most overlooked yet essential responsibilities of building lasting wealth. Many people focus on earning, investing, and growing their income, but they neglect the structures that keep that wealth safe. True financial success is not measured only by how much you create, it's measured by how well you protect it from uncertainty. Every asset you own, whether it's property, business income, or investments, carries exposure to risk. Life is unpredictable, and protection is what ensures that your progress continues even when the unexpected happens. The purpose of insurance, estate planning, and contingency systems is not fear, it's foresight. It's the act of thinking ahead, accepting that accidents, illness, market shifts, or even death are part of life, and preparing intelligently so that none of them destroy what you've built. It's about responsibility, not pessimism. Planning for the unexpected is what allows peace of mind during calm times and strength during difficult ones. Those who protect their assets don't live in fear of loss, they live in confidence that no matter what happens, their foundation will remain intact. The first layer of protection begins with insurance. Insurance is often misunderstood as an expense, but it's really a safeguard that prevents catastrophic loss. It's the transfer of risk from your shoulders to an institution designed to handle it. Having proper insurance coverage ensures that one event, whether it's a fire, accident, or medical emergency, does not undo years of work. There are several types of insurance to consider depending on your assets and lifestyle: life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance, property insurance, business liability coverage, and umbrella policies for added protection. Each serves a distinct purpose, and together they form a shield around your financial life. Life insurance provides stability for those you leave behind. It's not just a financial product, it's a gesture of responsibility and love. It ensures your family, dependents, or business partners are not left struggling in your absence. Health insurance protects your wealth from being eroded by medical bills that can quickly reach overwhelming amounts. Disability insurance secures your income if you are ever unable to work due to illness or injury. Property insurance defends your physical assets from damage or loss. Business insurance shields your operations from unexpected legal or operational risks. Each policy works together to preserve your lifestyle and assets, regardless of circumstance. Selecting insurance is not about buying everything available, it's about tailoring coverage to your real needs. A smart planner reviews policies regularly, adjusts coverage as wealth grows, and avoids both over-insuring and under-insuring. You must understand what each policy covers, what it excludes, and how it fits into your overall strategy. Many people purchase insurance impulsively without understanding it, while others ignore it entirely. The wise take the time to learn, compare options, and align coverage with their goals. Protection only works when it's deliberate. Beyond insurance lies estate planning, the process of deciding how your wealth will be managed, distributed, and protected when you are no longer able to do it yourself. Estate planning is not just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who has assets, family, or responsibility. Without clear instructions, your estate can become entangled in legal disputes, taxes, or government procedures that delay or reduce what your loved ones receive. A proper estate plan includes a will, trusts, powers of attorney, and healthcare directives. These documents ensure your wishes are respected and your legacy transitions smoothly to the next generation. A will defines how your assets should be distributed, but it's only part of the plan. Trusts offer more control and protection. They can minimize taxes, avoid probate, and ensure privacy. They also allow you to set specific terms for how and when your assets are accessed, protecting your family from mismanagement or external threats. Power of attorney assigns someone you trust to manage your affairs if you become unable to do so. Healthcare directives ensure your medical preferences are honored. Each of these components adds a layer of certainty to an uncertain future. Estate planning also helps maintain harmony among family members. Many conflicts after a person's passing occur not because of greed, but because of unclear communication. By organizing your estate in advance and discussing your intentions openly, you prevent confusion and emotional strain later. This planning is an act of respect. It shows care not only for your assets but for the people who matter most. It ensures your work continues to serve purpose long after you are gone. In addition to insurance and estate planning, contingency planning is the system that prepares you for unexpected changes while you are still alive. Contingency means what if. What if the market drops? What if a business partner leaves? What if you lose a primary income stream? These are not negative questions, they are strategic ones. A well-designed contingency plan ensures that no single event can completely disrupt your progress. It might include maintaining multiple income sources, having an emergency fund, securing key person insurance for your business, or having backup plans for operations. The goal is to anticipate disruptions and have ready responses before they occur. Contingency planning applies both personally and professionally. In business, it involves identifying vulnerabilities such as overdependence on one client or supplier and creating solutions. Personally, it might mean ensuring someone trustworthy can access critical documents, accounts, or passwords in your absence. It might mean setting up automatic bill payments or establishing financial power of attorney to prevent missed obligations. It's not about expecting failure, it's about guaranteeing continuity. Those who plan for uncertainty are the ones who remain calm when it arrives. Regular review is an essential part of asset protection. Circumstances change, and so must your strategies. Insurance coverage that was sufficient 5 years ago may now be outdated as your wealth or family structure evolves. Estate plans should be reviewed every few years or whenever major life events occur: marriage, children, new business ventures, or large acquisitions. A system that worked once can become inadequate over time if left unattended. Protection is not a one-time action, it's a living process that adapts with your growth. Professional guidance is invaluable in this area. Financial advisors, estate attorneys, and insurance specialists can help you identify blind spots and design customized solutions. However, you must stay engaged in the process. Many people delegate these responsibilities completely and end up unaware of what they actually have in place. Always know how your protection systems work and where key documents are stored. True security comes from both professional structure and personal awareness. Another vital part of protection is privacy. The more public your financial activities, the more vulnerable you become to unnecessary attention, fraud, or exploitation. Limit how much information you share about your assets or income. Use legal entities, separate accounts, and confidentiality agreements when appropriate. Protecting wealth quietly is wiser than showcasing it loudly. Privacy is a defense strategy. It reduces risk without costing a cent. Protection also includes emotional intelligence. Fear, greed, and overconfidence are internal forces that can destroy wealth faster than any external event. Make decisions based on facts, not emotions. Avoid impulsive moves during market fluctuations or crises. Remind yourself that your long-term protection plan exists precisely for those moments of uncertainty. Emotional stability is as important as financial structure in preserving assets. The ultimate goal of insurance, estate, and contingency planning is peace. When every part of your financial life is secured, you can focus fully on creation and growth. You no longer live with silent worry about what might happen. You live with confidence in what you've prepared. That peace allows clearer thinking, better decision-making, and stronger relationships. It turns wealth from a source of stress into a source of stability. Building wealth requires courage. Protecting it requires wisdom. Both are essential for a complete life of freedom. By designing smart systems of insurance, estate planning, and contingency preparation, you ensure that your work continues to serve you and those you care about, no matter what the future brings. You turn uncertainty into order, chaos into clarity, and risk into resilience. The result is not just financial protection, it's emotional strength. You gain the quiet assurance that your wealth, your family, and your purpose are safe, stable, and ready to endure beyond your lifetime. That assurance is the true definition of financial security. Chapter 10. Teach and mentor others to scale impact and create legacy. Teaching and mentoring others to scale impact and create legacy is the highest stage of wealth and wisdom. It is the point where success stops being about accumulation and starts being about contribution. True fulfillment does not come from what you own, but from what you share. The knowledge, experience, and systems you have built through years of effort can continue to grow beyond your lifetime if you pass them on with intention. The purpose of mentorship is not just to teach, it is to multiply the power of your journey by helping others create their own. When you guide people with honesty, you don't just improve their lives, you expand the impact of everything you've learned. A life well lived is one that leaves behind something that outlives you. Wealth without legacy fades quickly, but wisdom shared endures. Every person who has built something of value reaches a point where growth becomes less about profit and more about purpose. The urge to teach comes naturally when you recognize how much you've gained from others before you. Every breakthrough you've had was made possible because someone else once shared what they knew. Passing on knowledge is how you honor that cycle. It keeps progress alive. Mentorship begins with awareness of your own experiences. The lessons you've learned, the mistakes, the victories, the strategies, the failures are valuable beyond measure. Someone else is currently walking the same path you once struggled through. To them, your experience could mean the difference between quitting and succeeding. You don't need to be perfect to teach. You just need to be willing to share truthfully. The power of mentorship lies in authenticity. When you speak from experience rather than theory, your words carry weight. People don't need flawless teachers, they need real ones. The most impactful mentors focus on empowerment, not dependence. The goal is not to create followers but builders. A true mentor helps others think independently, make strong decisions, and develop their own systems. This kind of mentorship builds confidence in others and multiplies leadership. When you help others become self-sufficient, your influence grows exponentially. Your teachings ripple through generations of people who, in turn, help others. That is how impact becomes legacy, when what you start continues to grow without your direct involvement. To teach effectively, you must communicate with clarity and simplicity. Complex ideas mean nothing if people cannot apply them. The best teachers take what is complicated and make it understandable. They translate experience into action. They don't hide behind jargon or superiority. They meet people where they are and guide them step by step. Clarity is not just about words, it's about empathy. It means understanding what others need to hear and how they need to hear it. Every great mentor listens more than they speak. They understand before they instruct. Teaching and mentoring also strengthen your own understanding. When you explain a concept to someone else, you see it from new angles. You discover gaps in your thinking and refine your methods. Sharing knowledge forces you to organize your thoughts and simplify what once felt complex. In teaching others, you grow sharper yourself. This feedback loop between giving and growing makes mentorship mutually rewarding. It is not a one-sided exchange. Both mentor and student evolve together. To scale your impact, you must think beyond individual conversations. Modern technology allows you to teach at scale through books, online courses, podcasts, or communities. The same principles that helped you build wealth can help you build influence. Sharing your insights publicly multiplies your reach far beyond what direct mentorship can achieve. A message recorded today can inspire someone years from now. A system you document can continue improving lives long after you're gone. Digital platforms make legacy possible on a scale previous generations could only dream of. However, scaling impact is not about chasing popularity. It's about depth, not numbers. A small group of people transformed deeply is far more valuable than a large audience inspired briefly. The quality of your influence matters more than the quantity of your followers. Focus on the substance of what you teach, the real, practical steps that help others build results. Empty motivation fades quickly, but genuine wisdom endures. Teach what works, what's honest, and what lasts. That is how your name remains meaningful long after time passes. Legacy also requires intention. It doesn't happen by accident. You must decide what you want to be remembered for, and then live in alignment with that vision. Ask yourself, what values do I want to pass on? What lessons do I want others to carry forward? Legacy is not about buildings or money, it's about principles. It's about the kind of character, discipline, and thinking you leave behind in others. A strong legacy is built when your influence helps people grow, not just financially but mentally and morally. Mentorship should also include humility. No matter how much you've achieved, there is always more to learn. The best mentors never stop being students themselves. They listen, adapt, and evolve. They recognize that every generation faces different challenges, and the best way to stay relevant is to keep learning. Teaching with humility makes you approachable. It reminds people that growth is a continuous process, not a destination. Your openness to learn while guiding others builds deeper trust and authenticity. As you mentor others, you will also experience the joy of seeing your knowledge live through their actions. When someone you've guided succeeds, your success multiplies. Each new achievement by your students becomes a reflection of your contribution. It's a quiet satisfaction, knowing that your time, advice, and effort have created new opportunities for someone else. This is the emotional reward of legacy, witnessing others rise because you chose to share instead of compete. To make your mentorship truly impactful, focus on character development as much as technical skills. Teach people discipline, patience, and integrity. Show them how to stay grounded during success and resilient during failure. Skills can earn money, but character sustains it. When you mentor others to build strength in both areas, you're not just teaching them how to succeed, you're teaching them how to sustain success. This depth of guidance transforms students into leaders who can carry forward your principles long after you're gone. Creating a legacy through mentorship also involves building systems that preserve and share your knowledge efficiently. Document your ideas, organize your methods, and record your processes. Whether it's through writing, audio, or digital archives, capture what you've learned in a format that others can access. Knowledge left undocumented dies with the teacher. Knowledge recorded becomes immortal. A written principle or a recorded lesson can inspire people you will never meet. That is the power of structure. It turns temporary experience into permanent influence. Mentorship is also a responsibility. When people trust you with their growth, they are placing part of their future in your hands. This responsibility demands honesty, patience, and care. Never give advice you haven't lived or tested. Never promise results you can't guarantee. Be a guide, not a savior. Your role is to light the path, not walk it for them. The best mentors empower others to take ownership of their journey. They remind their students that success comes from discipline, not dependence. Over time, teaching others will change how you see success. It will no longer be measured by how much you own, but by how much value you've created for others. It will no longer be about your own achievements, but about the progress you've inspired. The people you mentor will become living extensions of your impact. Each of their victories becomes part of your story. Legacy, therefore, is not built through self-promotion but through the quiet, consistent act of helping others grow. Teaching also ensures continuity. Everything you've built, your business, systems or investments, depends on capable people to maintain them. When you mentor others to understand and manage these assets, you ensure they remain strong after you. Without guidance, even the most successful structures can collapse when leadership changes. Passing on wisdom preserves what you've built. It transforms your work from a personal achievement into a generational foundation. In the end, teaching and mentoring are the ultimate forms of wealth creation because they produce value that never stops growing. Money can be spent, systems can be copied, but knowledge passed to others continues to evolve and multiply. When you choose to teach, you move from success to significance. You build not only income but influence, not only assets but legacy. Your time, effort, and lessons live through others long after you are gone. That is the true reward, knowing that what you built will continue shaping lives, inspiring progress, and creating opportunity for generations to come.